Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on the Destination X pay-per-view that was held a couple of hours ago. Just now getting back to let everybody know the news. Let y'all know the news. But first, some news. Jeremy Borash announced at the end of TNA post show that he will be joining Mike Tenay on commentary for tonight's Destination X pay-per-view. He stated that Taz would miss the show due to family commitments. Well, Taz also missed last year's Destination X due to family obligation. Borash did really a nice job on commentary with Tenay last year. He's passionate about the product and the X division, so he's the right replacement choice. The show Impact Rewind is advertised on Spike TV website as airing before this coming Thursday's live Impact Wrestling television show. The special is scheduled to air at 6 p.m. Central Time. The show is only listed on the Spike TV schedule for July 12th so far. Neither TNA nor Spike TV have hyped the show yet, thanks to all readers who passed along the info on that. TNA has also launched a Twitter page. I announced this on the Impact video, I believe it was 2 days ago. It's called Aces and Eights. It's the group that attacked Sting and left the envelope for Hulk Hogan. You can view the page at twitter.com/the Aces and Eights. And that's the Aces and number 8. S. If you don't know, you better call somebody, because Ace and Eights are known as a dead man's hand. Also noted in my previous video the other night, along with another commenter on another website, Rob Stetzer. Well, it was the hard hand that Wild Bill Hickok had when he was murdered at the saloon, and the new Twitter page acknowledges the dead man's hand connection. New TNA wrestler Kenny King gave his side of the story regarding his departure from Ring of Honor. And he's quoted by saying, "I was offered a contract extension. I had reservations about the parameters of the extension and effective my free agent option would be, as he wrote, I gave a handshake agreement that I wouldn't do anything screwy with the belts, a la Medusa." And he gave Ring of Honor information about everyone that he made regarding working for TNA Impact Wrestling. Realistically, they could have just found out when they saw his black ass walking down to the ring. I was given a physical contract extension by Ring of Honor, which I respectfully declined to sign due to the reasons I stated above. If I declined to sign an actual contract extension, how could anyone think there was a verbal agreement? I took the biggest gamble of my career this weekend, so going into Destination X, I am prepared to put it all on the line. I am especially grateful to Dixie Carter and Impact Wrestling for giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills on a bigger stage. I was given an amazing opening, and I took it. Ask Eminem how many chances you get to blow up. Read King's full statement at twitter.com, Kenny King Pin Inks. That's KNNYKINGPINANX. It will be interesting to see whether Ring of Honor officials respond to King's statement due to the right thing and move on. It's worth noting that King was willing to work additional dates for Ring of Honor to drop the tag titles, but that seems unlikely to happen based on Ring of Honor claiming that they won't do business with him going forward. Several TNA stars and management accounts have been on Twitter wishing Chris Sabin the best in his surgery, as he underwent surgery on Friday, I believe, having the other knee repaired that he injured recently. If I remember correctly, Sabin tore the other ACL, which means at least another 6 months of rehab ahead. Tough break. It's worth noting that Sabin did work an injury angle on Impact Thursday to get him off TV. The following are the recaps of tweets issued by various pro wrestling personalities regarding the main event on tonight's Destination X pay-per-view. AEW winning the TNA title at Destination X. WWE Champion CM Punk. I said he didn't see it, but congratulations to AEW. Samoa Joe and Zema Iron. Looks like somebody finally gets it. Kudos. Unquote. Dixie Carter comment. Congratulations, Austin Aries. What a year it has been. You have fought hard and deserve it. Colt Cabana congrats to Austin Aries. And he did a what do you call it? Hashtag champ. Unquote. Nigel McGuinness, who used to work for TNA, and under his retirement, he comments and said, "Proud tear in my eye, wondering at how great life can be sometimes. Another of my Ring of Honor peers proved it wasn't hype." Unquote. Well, TNA creative member Dave Lagana quotes, life is made of moments. This was one of them. Congratulations to Austin Aries. Work with great people, hand them the ball, believe and trust in their work, and don't get negativity into the world. Result equals Destination X. And your Destination X pay-per-view aired live from Orlando, Florida in the Impact Zone. And the show opened up with a video that focused on Bobby Roode and AEW. Pyro shot off above the ring and then onto the stage inside the Impact Zone. Mike Tenay and Jeremy Borash introduced the show from their perch on the stage. Tenay noted that Borash was filling in for Taz again this year, and they ran through some of the top matches. Borash said it's hard to believe that it was a year ago when Aries won a contract. Now he's in the main event. Borash shifted the focus to hyping the opening match by saying that Dixie Carter was so impressed that she set up the last chance four-way as Christy Hemme handled the ring introduction. And those that have missed the last 2 weeks, these are the guys who have been competing on the shows. Rubix versus Mason Andrews versus Lars Only versus Dakota Darso in a last chance fatal four-way. Rubix and Andrews squared off early, while Only and Darso were on the floor. Only wore a headband and ended up returning to the ring and then squaring off with Darso while the other two were on the floor. Darso took advantage and knocked the other two off the ring apron before getting a 2 count only. And then Rubix, a.k.a. Jigsaw, had a vocal group of fans chanting his name. The first big spot of the match came when Andrews, a.k.a. Scorpio Sky, dove onto Lars Only and Darso. Rubix followed up with a big dive of his own onto Andrews and Darso, which drew obligatory holy shit chants from the crowd. They shot dead air to Kid Cash watching the match run backstage, so expect him to be in the next couple of matches. Announcers explained that the winner of the match would immediately face Cash in a tournament match. There was another big spot with Darso powerbombing Andrews, who suplexed Only simultaneously. Rubix followed that up with a great springboard dropkick on Darso, which got more fans onto his side. The four wrestlers traded shots in the ring. Lars Only used a cool head scissors move to drive his opponent's face into the mat. Andrews drilled Lars Only with a high knee and followed up with a diamond cutter for the clean win. So, Mason Andrews defeated Rubix, Lars Only, and Dakota Darso in 8 minutes 20 seconds and enters the X Division title tournament. Well, a good train wreck style for a fatal four-way match with plenty of crowd-pleasing high spots. And Lars only redeemed himself with a better outgoing than he had on this past Thursday's match. And I prefer when we have some incentive to cheer or boo wrestlers. But this was fine for what it was. Match number 2, Kid Cash versus Mason Andrews. In an Ultimate X qualifier, Cash ran out and attacked Andrews to start the match. Andrews came back with a pair of drop kicks and caught Cash in a crucifix pin for a nice early near fall. Cash pretended to crank up his middle finger while staring into the hard camera, which got a laugh out of the live crowd. Later on in the match, Cash went for a moonsault off the top rope, but Andrews put his knees up. Andrews threw a missile drop kick that didn't connect due to Cash moving out of the way and near fall. He came back with a high knee that looked great for another near fall. A short time later, Cash went for a knee shot, but Andrews avoided it and rolled him up for the clean pin. Mason Andrews defeated Kid Cash in the Ultimate X qualifier in another 8 minutes and 10 second match. So 2 matches in a row, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. I guess they got a infatuation about 8 minutes 10 seconds. Same thing with aces and eights. Well, we got 8 and 10. Well, a pretty good match. That would have been more entertaining had we been given a Cash promo to turn the crowd against him. Nevertheless, I like the story they told with Andrews winning both matches. Speaking of which, I went to several different websites online and they wouldn't pull up. About midway to the second hour, probably going into the third hour, we actually caught it on one of the websites. I believe that was First Row Sports. It actually pulled up then. Normally watch it either on thegbyn.com, which they don't play TNA events ever anymore for the last year and a half or so. They only play WWE. How discriminative they are. Okay, so next week we may be watching WWE pay-per-view on Sunday night on the GBYN. I won't be chatting because you can chat on their program. Well, First Row Sports, you can't chat on them. Okay, well, back to the pay-per-view news. Okay, backstage segment with Christy Hemme interviewing Samoa Joe, who picked Austin Aries to win the TNA title. They reviewed the Bound for Glory leaderboard. Joe said his strategy last year was to hurt, kill, and maim everyone involved. Well, he didn't do much of nothing because he didn't even get any points in the series. And he said he's seen light and he sees the opportunity it presents. Joe said Angle isn't a gold medalist. He sees him as 10 points. He said Angle is an ends to a means. Joe vowed to beat Angle by any means necessary to gain 10 points by submission. Joe, if you hurt and kill someone, then you don't need to maim or name them after they're already dead. I'm fine with the hurt and kill, but I feel the line has to be drawn somewhere. Announcers encourage Twitter followers to vote for the main event winner. Match number 3, Kenny King versus Doug Williams, or I should say Douglas Williams, who is, I believe, dating Mickie James. It's either him or Brutus Magnus. In an Ultimate X qualifier, Borash recalled meeting King years ago at the NWA Wild Side event and spoke about how far King has come since then. King got the better of Williams early on, and Williams offered a handshake and then took a cheap shot. King came back moments later with a twisting dive onto Williams onto the floor. Kenny scored a series of near falls on Williams around 8 minutes. King caught Williams off on the ropes and threw a couple of lazy forearms to his back. Williams tossed King to the floor and then followed up with a knee off the rope. King came back with a great springboard neck breaker for a good near fall. Williams came back with a high knee in the corner. King pushed Williams off the ropes and then leapfrogged on him. King hit his finisher and scored a clean pin. Fans chanted, "Yes, yes," orgasms after the match. Kenny King defeated Douglas Williams in 10 minutes 35 seconds to qualify for Ultimate X. Well, that match was forgettable. There were some flash spots from King, but it felt disjointed. It didn't feel like there was a story being told in the match or from the series that King scoring the repeated near falls. Backstage segment again with Hemi introducing or interviewing Daniels, the Fallen Angel, who talked about his I Quit match with Styles at last year's Destination X. He said he was more concerned with being a friend than winning the match. He said Styles is the type of man who takes advantage of a helpless alcoholic and impregnates her. He said Styles isn't the type of man who will win a last man standing match, and everyone now has his permission to drink to that. Match number 4. Sanjay Dutt versus Rashad Cameron in an Ultimate X qualifier. Jeremy Boras said that Dutt couldn't walk the streets in India because he's so loved by the locals. Cameron did the big dive over the top rope and onto Dutt on the floor real early in the match, so they filled their quota for the night. Sanjay hit a good series of moves that included a leg drop through the ropes and a springboard splash for a near fall. Later in the match, Cameron applied an armbar on Dutt, who reached the ropes. Cameron complained that when Earl Hebner made him release the hold, Dutt came back with a back flip with a double foot stop and scored the clean pin. And that double foot stomp was while the guy was in the tree of woe. Dutt was in the tree of woe. So, Rashad Cameron was in the tree of woe. So Sanjay Dutt defeated Rashad Cameron in not 8 minutes 10 seconds, but 7 minutes to qualify for the Ultimate X match. So they finally got up to 8 minutes and 10 seconds stuff. Okay, this was the most entertainment match of the qualifiers so far. Both wrestlers had their moments to shine, and Dutt's finisher is amazing. Very similar to Kaval or Low Key. The crowd got behind Sanjay from the start. I just wish TNA was doing more to give the viewers some reason to root for one wrestler over the other. Well, why not give them a chance? Let the crowd choose which one they want to cheer for. That's what wrestling is all about. Don't be like WWE and force feed you somebody to cheer for or boo for. Well, the announcers narrated footage of Jesse Sorensen's broken neck in the Against All Odds match against Zema Ion. They set up a video featuring Sorensen's rehab, which featured comments from Sorensen and his mother. They flashed forward 5 months and included footage of Sorensen's doctor discussing his rehab. The doctor said that he believes Sorensen will have a long, successful career. Sorensen said he's going to make a full recovery, so all he can do is stay positive. Well, Christy Emmy was back, and she was asking the crowd to give a warm welcome back to Jesse Sorensen. A football-themed opening video package aired. Sorensen walked to the ring wearing his neck brace. He stopped to hug his mother and also girlfriend at ringside. The fans gave him a standing ovation and chanted his name. The crowd chanted, "Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back." As Sorensen took the mic, he said Dixie Carter asked him if he was nervous before he came out. He told her it was good to feel anything. He said the last time he was in the arena, he couldn't feel anything from the neck down. He said he laid in an intensive care unit, staring at the ceiling for days and not knowing whether he would be able to walk again. He then said the last thing he heard before he left the arena was the sound of the fans chanting his name. The fans chanted Jesse again. He said God put him on earth to be a professional wrestler, and that's what I'm going to be, and that's what I will always be. As Jesse said, so to everyone in the back, my family, and to teach every one of you who stuck by me and supported me through all this, thank you so much. And he also said, thank you. And the fans also said, thank you, Jesse. Well, Sorensen turned his attention to Zema Ion that did a promo. He said he knows he's listening and he hasn't forgotten about him. He said he has hopes Ion wins the title tonight because he's coming back to take the title from him. Sorensen then said at this time next year, he will be the X Division champion and will cash in and get the title to go on to become trade in that title to become the TNA champion. Well, after Sorensen left the ring and high-fived some fans, Zema Ion made his way to the ring as cocky as ever as he walked down the ramp. Surprised he didn't use his hairspray. That's about when we caught the match going in progress with the pay-per-view, and he and Sorensen exchanged a look. But Ion he was headed to the ring for his match. Boris said that that was the first interaction the two have had since then. He said Ion never bothered to call Sorensen to apologize for a bad spot. A cool moment. It was great to see the fans give him the hero's welcome. Obviously, Boris's claim that Ion never bothered to call Sorensen is playing into the long-term storyline. I wish they would have put Sorensen's return on free television. A similar event with Ion walking past him would have made Ion a huge heel heading into the pay-per-view. Match number 5, Zema Ion versus Flip Casanova in an Ultimate X qualifier. Ion healed it up by spraying his hair. Well, there you go. It backfired at one point, and Casanova avoided one of his moves and went on the offense himself. Ion came back with a couple of innovative moves and scored a clean pin. Announcers noted that it will be Ion versus Dutt versus Andrews versus King in the Ultimate X match later on in the evening. Zema Ion then he defeated Flip Casanova in a squash match in 3 minutes 50 seconds to qualify for the Ultimate X. Wow, yeah, they just played this like it was like nothing. They automatically put guys into it where they didn't even have qualifying matches to even get into the qualifying into the tournament itself. They were already put in the tournament. Well, Ion continues to be the most charismatic wrestler in the X Division now that Aries has moved up. I really hope that they do something with him as the X Division champion tonight. Here's the breakout star of the division right here. If they even have such an award in TNA or Impact Wrestling. And another backstage segment from Christy Hemme interviewing Andrews, Dutt, and King about the Ultimate X match. Bobby Roode walked onto the set and said that this is his moment and his show. Big whoopee, he said, regarding the X Division title match. He said he's going to destroy their little poser boy, Austin Aries. He said that the X Division and Aries will fail, and he will leave with his TNA championship. And announcers discussed the Bound for Glory Series leaderboard again. Match number 6, Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle in a Bound for Glory Series match. Today said that Joe versus Angle is the best rivalry he has seen in 10 years of TNA. Angle stopped to kiss his children at ringside before entering the ring for the match. What? The kids are there and no Karen or no Jeff Jarrett? Well, the crowd was split with Let's Go Angle and Let's Go Joe chants from the start. Joe performed a big suicide dive at 3 minutes 40 seconds into the match. Heck, I was watching this match and I didn't even think it went that much longer than that myself. Angle took control of the offense. Once they returned to the ring, I went to get a glass of tea, and it was already over. Joe had came back a short time later with a leg lariat for a 2 count. Joe showed frustration with his inability to put Angle away. Well, Angle followed up with 3 German suplexes as a fan held up Joe versus Angle 8 sign. Joe went for a muscle buster. Angle avoided it and applied an ankle lock. Joe kicked him off once again. Angle charged at him and Joe in the corner and ended up on the receiving end of a one-arm slam. Joe hit the muscle buster for another 2 count at 10 minutes 40 seconds in the match. So I guess it did go fairly longer. Joe went for a sleeper, but Kurt slipped out and applied another ankle lock for a third time. Joe reached for the ropes, but Angle pulled him back inside the ring. Joe rolled out and then pulled Angle down for a rear naked choke. Earl Hebner did a good job of showing he was on the verge of calling for the bell if Angle tapped and went out. Well, Angle got to his feet to break the choke and then hit Angle slam for a 2 count of his own at 12 minutes 40 seconds. Angle took the straps off of a singlet, the Olympic singlet that they always wear. And it's classic. That's when he gets pissed off type of stuff. Well, Joe caught him with a kick to the face. Angle went for the Angle slam, but Joe slipped under and applied the choke again. Hebner called for the belt to end the match. Angle protested afterwards by saying he never tapped. Like I said, I missed it myself to even let you know, because I was getting me a glass of tea at that point. Well, Samoa Joe defeated Kurt Angle by ref stoppage in 14 minutes to earn 10 points in the Bound for Glory series. I assume the ref stoppage counts as 10 points, just as a submission would. Well, so the Bound for Glory series matches have 15-minute time limits. So I was concerned that we were going to get a draw. I'd like to finish Angle saves face by not tapping. Yet Joe gets a needed win. The usual strong match from these two, though it needed more time than the BFG series allows to be a little bit more special. Announcers then discussed the updated BFG series leaderboard. Joe has jumped into the lead with 37 points. So he's ahead of James Storm at 36 points. Jeff Hardy's in third with 21 points. Coming around around the loop is Kurt Angle with 20 points. And trailing behind is Brutus Magnus with 14. And the rest of the field has single digits. Yeah, they're just getting out of starting gates. Well, in my view, at least they all have points. Well, then they did a video recapping the Daniels, Kazarian, Dixie Carter, Crack Whore, Claire, and Surge drama. Heck, I think they dropped the Surge after the first segment that they had with them. Match number 7, Christopher Fallen Angel Daniels versus AJ Styles. In a last man standing match, Daniels took powder to the ringside as Boras gushed over Styles. Being the face of the company for the last 10 years, Styles eventually chased Daniels around, and then in the ring, Daniels spat at Styles, who then threw a series of right hands at him. Later in the match, Daniels took control of the match and jawed with the fans at ringside. He slammed Styles' face off the ring steps and went back to jawing with the fans, very similar to what The Rock does. In his matches, Daniels healed it up again by taking bows at ringside. Then Styles finally emerged. He was bleeding. Daniels remained on the offense as they headed back to the ring. Daniels tried to hit Styles with a chair at 9 minutes 10 seconds in the match, but Styles kicked his leg. Styles performed a springboard forearm that knocked the chair into Daniels, who tumbled to ringside. Styles rammed Daniels into the ring steps, which Daniels had set on their side earlier. And then Daniels came up bleeding as well. Daniels begged off as he backed his way up the ramp in a seated position. Daniels got to his feet and tried to leave, but Styles caught him on the stage and punched him. And there's not much left in this match. Styles walked toward the video screen and then charged at one another and performed a simultaneous clothesline, double clothesline. The referee counted, but they both got to their feet and back at the same time. Styles got the better of the exchange with a kick to the head. He told the ref not to bother counting Daniels down because he wasn't finished with him. Styles set up Daniels for the Styles Clash on the stage. But Daniels backdropped him. Styles performed a flip off the small railing onto the stage and dropped Daniels with a reverse DDT. Well, while Daniels was down as the referee was counting to 7, Kazarian came out and shoved Styles off the ramp and onto the floor. Referee Brian Hebner stopped the count with Daniels to scold Kazarian. Hebner turned around his attention to Styles, who used the fan barricade to beat the count. Daniels grabbed a chair and dragged it over to where Styles was and was located as Kazarian watched from the stage. Daniels threw Styles onto the entrance ramp and attempted Angle's wings, but Styles pushed him forward and knocked Daniels into Kazarian. Styles performed the Pele kick on Daniels. Styles performed the Styles Clash on Daniels off the ramp and through the table in a true holy shit moment. Yeah, it's a full flip. Kind of like a power bomb move, which is called the Styles Clash. Or it's like a Boston Crab type of flip in through the table. Whichever one they used. I missed a spot as I was doing some internet stuff myself. So at that point, the crowd was chanting holy shit. Hebner counted for both men. Styles got to his feet at 9 while Daniels was still trying and failed to answer the 10 count. So AJ wins in 17 minutes 45 seconds. That was a hell of a match. They finally delivered a good gimmick match. I love the way that they kept the ref count to a minimum rather than go a bunch of crowd killing segments with the aggressor stopping his attack to have the referee count even though everyone in the building knows it's not the finish. Both men worked their asses off and got the tone of the match was perfect for their bitter feud. Daniel didn't lose anything given the way he nearly got to his feet, Apollo Creed style. Best match of the night, and it's not even close. The announcers ran through a list of the main event predictions from Twitter. They announced that 71% of their fans believe Aries will leave with the TNA title. So, that being said, I already gave you the results for the match, and Austin Aries won. And so the fans were exactly right as well. Backstage segment with Chrissy Hemme interviewing a double who received a good reaction from the loud crowd, and he entered the interview area. He wished the Ultimate X competitors good luck. He said that the X Division is in his rear view mirror now. He said he's looking at what's in front of him, which is Bobby Roode and the TNA title. Well, A Double said Roode has been calling himself the It Factor. I've been calling him the Shit Factor. And the most dominant champion in TNA, well, for the last 6 months, no competition. Because every competition he's been using, he's been cheating. So, well, you'll have to see how it goes in this match. He said he will find out whether that's true or not. He said Roode has been winning his matches with beer bottles and belt shots, where he even tried it in this match. Whereas he's been winning with the brain buster. He said he wants to give everyone in the Impact Zone and watching on pay-per-view, including his mother, a champion they can be proud of. Well, the announcers narrated highlights of their earlier X Division action to show how each wrestler is qualified for the Ultimate X. Sanjay Dutt versus Zemo Ion versus Kenny King versus Mason Andrews in an Ultimate X match for the vacant X Division title. Ion sprayed his hair and immediately went to the corner to make his run for the belt. But the others stopped him. He tried to jump off the ropes at him, and they did a triple drop kick. He took a triple drop kick for all three of his opponents. There was a cool spot early with King cartwheel kicking Dutt off the ring apron. King made the first climb of the wire toward the title belt, but Sanjay recovered and cut him off. Ion climbed the wire and made a run at the title belt, but King and Sky pulled him down at 3 minutes 40 seconds. Footage aired of Sanjay performing a running moonsault and catching his head on the middle rope. Announcers noted that Sanjay needed medical attention and was being helped to the back, so it's down to a triple threat match instead. Dutt was actually holding his arm as he rolled out of the ring. Andrews performed an obligatory dive onto his opponents and then climbed toward the title belt that was hanging on the cables above the ring. Kenny King spared Andrews to end that pursuit. Later in the match, Sanjay returned to ringside and climbed the metal part of the Ultimate X structure, which I was looking at that one myself at that point. King and Andrews scaled opposite wires and met in the middle of the top. As they were above the X, as it was hanging from the ropes normally. Andrews performed a neck breaker on King, and Ion both climbed to the very top of the metal structure and met in the middle. Dutt threw punches at him, and Ion pulled a spray can out of his pants and sprayed the substance near his face, not really into his eyes. Ion pulled the belt off the wire and got the win. So Zima Ion defeated Sanjay, Mason, and Kenny King in the Ultimate X to win at 8 minutes 50 seconds in the match. So they got the 8-minute factor for the X Division guys for the championship match as well as the qualifying matches. Wow, way to go! I hated the spray can finish, but that's his character that's going on with Zima Ion. But I'm happy with the end result of the match. Borash was quick to play up the fact that Ion won on the same night that Sorensen returned. I thought the Ultimate X winner had to pull the belt down and then touch the floor. Well, that was wrong. They gave it to Ion as soon as he pulled it off the cables. Perhaps I'm getting my gimmick matches confused, but people let me know. Comment on them. And I guess they're just playing it by ear, just like WWE does. It's like, okay, what titles have to be defended in 30 days and which ones not? Anyways, they gave the match to Ion. He sat up on the top of the steel structure for several minutes. So, after the match, Hemi interviewed Ion when he finally came down. Ion told the fans to show some respect. He dedicated the win to Jesse Sorensen. He said that if he hadn't broke Sorensen's neck, he may not have realized how dangerous he is. He said he is now the greatest X Division champion of all time. Well, doesn't the Honky Tonk Man was claiming that he was the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Well, there you go. A solid promo, but the live crowd near Ion was too busy trying to have their chant heard to pay attention. The Sorensen line should have gotten more heat than it did. Obviously, that's going to be a big X Division feud once Sorensen returns to the ring next year. So, well, if he's able to walk, he should be able to run within a month or so. So the announcers set up a video that set the stage for the main event. They ran through the tail of the tape, which is back to making no sense since it's more bullet points and tape measure material. And your 9th match of the evening, Bobby Roode versus A-Double for the TNA title. Jeremy Borash left the broadcast table to handle the in-ring introductions for the main event, thinking he's Michael Buffer. The crowd was very tame early on as the wrestlers took turns teasing tests of strength and acting cocky. A-Double went to offense until he missed a missile drop kick at 5 minutes 20 seconds in the match. Later, Aries missed a suicide dive attempt when Roode moved out of the way, causing Aries to crash on the guardrail. Roode took control of the match at that point, cutting off Aries' hope. Aries bled from what appeared to be a scratch on his nose. Aries made his comeback by no-selling Roode's shots while he was on his knees. Aries got to his feet and they traded shots. Aries ducked the Roode clothesline and hit him with a spinning forearm. Aries clotheslined Roode over the top and out followed with a suicide dive. Aries looked to disappointingly quietening the crowd and got a decent reaction out of them. Aries followed up with a missile drop kick at 15 minutes 10 seconds in the match. Then went for what appeared to be another running drop kick, but Roode caught him and slammed him down for a near fall. Roode dove at Aries It was an awkward spot, but Austin locked in last chancery. Rude escaped quickly and applied the crossface. Aries rolls out the crossface and applied the last chancery again. Rude broke it up by raking the eyes of Aries. They fought on the ropes. Rude went for a superplex, but Aries kneed him in the head and knocked him off the ropes. Aries went for the 450 splash. Rude moved, but Aries landed on his feet. So that was some great acrobatics. Aries charged at Rude, who drilled him with a spine buster for a near fall. I thought the match was over at that point. A short time later, Rude whipped Austin through the ropes into the ring post. Rude applied the crossface in the middle of the ring. Aries struggled to reach the ropes and eventually did so, so that broke the hold. Rude went to the ringside and grabbed the title belt and tried to use it inside the ring and wound up he did hit Aries with it, but Brian Hebner stopped him. As Hebner was bringing the belt to ringside, Rude low blowed Aries and went for the cover, but Aries kicks out at 2. Rude shoved the referee again. The referee shoved Rude back. Aries hit a running drop kick in the corner. Rude shoved Aries into the referee. Ref bump, knocked him down, knocked him out for a moment. Aries tried to wake up the referee, but when he turned around, Rude blasted him with a title belt, and we all thought it was over. Rude dragged the referee in the middle of the ring and covered Aries, but this was a long count. I mean, the referee goes, 1, hesitate, waits about 10 seconds, 2, hesitates. He gets about right about here and then kicks out. So Austin kicked out as the crowd popped big for Aries kicking out of the pinfall. Rude took his elbow pads and went for the fisherman suplex, but Aries caught him in an inside cradle for a good near fall. Schoolboy roll up. Aries called a follow Rude with a kick to the head and then followed up with a brain buster for the 1, 2, 3. The crowd popped big for the title change and chanted Aries, Aries, and he celebrated with a title belt. Confetti shot off as Aries stood in the ring with a title belt. And that match took 22 minutes and 40 seconds. And A-Double is your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Then they had an ad airing for TNA Hardcore Justice, which is the next pay-per-view on August the 12th. So that was a surprising finish only because all signs pointed to Rude versus James Storm at the next pay-per-view. A hell of a finish for tonight. But I hope it looks like a good move for a few months from now. And the live crowd was flat early on, which was surprising. Fortunately, they got into the match and it went on, and they loved the main event outcome. I guess Rude gets the title back in the near future. But I'll definitely be enjoying the Aries title reign while it lasts. Probably Rude will use his automatic rematch on this coming Thursday night's live Impact. So overall, this was a better than average show. With your younger talent being used. So all the undercard was filled with too many matches that felt like they were more about the high spots than storytelling. I know that worked for some fans, but I'm not one of them. Styles and Daniels was the match of the night, and the main event title change surprised everyone. But obviously, the most notable aspect of the show, if you enjoyed the undercard more than I did, well, you probably obviously enjoyed it more than I did. Again, it was a better than average show with a surprise title change and strong work rate from start to finish. Great show, TNA, but you need some more storytelling for a better pay-per-view and leading up. Don't just throw somebody in the matches instead of having qualifying matches. Well, everybody should qualify, not just be on the show. Well, that ends my pay-per-view Destination X for this year. Raw will be tomorrow night. Probably SmackDown afterwards because of the wildfires that was happening for the SmackDown tapings. SmackDown will be taped as soon as Raw goes off the air tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that as well. But we'll probably not be airing the SmackDown results until Tuesday myself when I get off work. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of the week. Peace out.